Okay, we are live. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody around the world. This is another Gray Market AMA, this time once again with our friends at Million Dollar Baby. Joining me in the studio today is our friend Danny, also known as The Godfather. Danny, welcome to welcome to this AMA. Thank you so much for joining us and wanting to do another AMA with us.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having us. Just a minor correction. MDB stands for Million Dollar Baby for the first token in our ecosystem. The ecosystem is Make DeFi Better. Both obviously MDB, but just a minor correction because I'll get shot by our marketing team if I don't.
Of course. Understood. So, speaking of MDB and Million Dollar Baby, why don't you do a quick recap for your original token and what exactly your role in the company is?
Yeah, sure. So look, maybe I'll start with kind of me and the team. So my role, I'm the founder, CEO, whatever sort of overly glamorous title that you want to give me. This is my brainchild ultimately, and I've been crazy enough to give up my life to come and do it, and then found other people crazy enough to follow me along the journey, and yeah, my background really, it's my first DeFi project. I'm not a developer by trade. We use registered sort of development businesses operating out of the US actually for a lot of our development. And my background really, I've got experience working both in the startup space around the technology sector, so specifically around software, and prior to that, I've worked for like three, maybe four. I'm just trying to think. Three listed businesses in my time. Two of them Fortune 500. Operated early on in my career predominantly around sort of commercial roles, commercial leadership roles, and then as I was lucky to sort of progress a little bit, then sort of in director roles and leading business units and so on. So I'm probably a little bit older than some of the sort of DeFi leaders that you would normally see. I'm sort of at the wrong end of my 30s, but coming with lots of life experience, and the team is very much like that, and actually our community as well. I'd say our community is I wouldn't say sensible, but they're certainly what you wouldn't call so much degen. And actually, when we announced the partnership with Gray and the impending investment this week with Gray as well, I think we probably saw we saw a good handful of people jump straight across from MDB straight into Gray, asking questions, signing up. So I think there's probably a lot of synergies between the communities actually.
I do agree with that. We have noticed a good uptick in users coming in, asking questions, doing their own research, most importantly. So that's fantastic. So that's your breakdown.
You'd like me to talk a little bit about, I suppose, MDB originally in the concept, right?
Yeah. Just as a recap for those new folks who don't necessarily might not remember, or people just jumping in for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, to give the elevator pitch, I suppose MDB is the result of me thinking a lot for many months actually about all of the opportunity that I see within DeFi and how often it's wasted, and what are the major reasons that protocols don't work, why don't they work out, and ultimately we designed MDB to tackle those major issues around whether it's team, whales, liquidity, and so on. So we assess all of those potential sort of risks and ultimately designed MDB around that. And what we did is we were very lucky. We would sort of a couple of weeks before the Terra Luna disaster is when we launched, which made it very difficult on our journey, don't get me wrong, but also we were very lucky to get our pre-sale done before that happened. So we raised 1.8 million. We split that 5 parts: trust fund, 1 part liquidity, and ultimately we call that capital synergy. And those ratios, what they do is they kind of give an insurance policy to the protocol. Actually, one of our biggest risks is that it grows too much and gets out of control. But actually, if the price drops a lot, so even now we've had a really good run up, but if with the funds that we've got in the protocol today, if our price drops, if we had a 75% crash right now, then the protocol could basically buy itself out at that point, and that really is the power of capital synergy as we've designed it. So it's hyperdeflationary with appreciating funds. So we live by those two rules. Ultimately, money goes up, amount of supply goes down, amount of money divided by the number of tokens, a bit like the shares in a business, ultimately increases. And if people want to exercise the growth of those shares, as we call them, like MDB tokens, they can sell them, they pay a tax for selling them, and then ultimately there is then more money divided by less shares, because we have this function where we buy back and then burn the supply systematically as well. And that's really what MDB is built on. We've done a lot. I think we were sort of a one token project the last time we were here. I'm very happy to say that we've absolutely crushed our roadmap, and we've smashed through all of our objectives, and now it's a very different sort of ecosystem that you see today, but still built on the same premise. Everything we do is about appreciating the funds in the protocol and appreciating the number of tokens in supply.
Absolutely. Good stuff there. We will certainly be talking about your ventures since our last AMA, the new tokens, all of it. Maybe some hidden alpha on some upcoming stuff. Who knows? You'll have to tune in and find out. But for those of you who are new to our community, my name is Meta, community manager of Gray Market. We are a venture capital investment group specializing in seeds, crypto, DeFi, traditional finance, TA, whatever you want it, we got it. So if you want more information on anybody of us, you can message any of us here at the Gray Market. We can give you some information on what you can find for your subscription, et cetera, et cetera. We also have an exciting partnership with MDB to announce. So look forward to that. Definitely excited to have everybody involved in that. So let's get started on what exactly you have been doing since the last time we were here. So I have a list here of everything you've been doing, and it's quite impressive. So first off, your Gravity project. That is something that makes me really excited, because from what I understand, you basically take all of the failing protocols and you just absorb them. You just any project that the devs decide to quit out on, you come swoop in and basically save the project and all the investors. So tell us about the Gravity project.
Yeah, the way Gravity works, and we did our first Gravity project actually on the day that we launched MDB, and we've done a few others since. And ultimately, the way Gravity works is, and really, the clue's in the name. You kind of see these abandoned planets where the atmosphere is gone. It's very difficult for them to recover. But you go deep down in the core of those planets, and I'm talking about projects here. Quite often, you've got good team members, you've got fantastic community members. Quite often the most loyal people are the ones that hold on till the bitter end and get the worst result, unfortunately, and quite often you've got maybe lot liquidity or a treasury. So there's a number of things there that potentially in the right situation can spark up life, but it's very difficult once you've lost the atmosphere in that environment to bring it back, as we all know. So ultimately what Gravity does is it absorbs those things into MDB. We have to do some due diligence. You need a willing team on the other side, which isn't always easy to find, and you also need a team that's thinking about how they can get the best outcome for their holders, rather than maybe how they can get a best outcome for themselves. Again, not always easy to find, but when we're lucky enough to find that situation, and there's been a number of examples, that Oracle I always hold up as a fantastic example. Oracle Finance didn't work out, executed quickly, and ultimately we absorbed what was left within their protocol, and then we give MDB tokens at the equivalent value of their holding, if possible. I say if possible because there could always be a scenario, right? Sometimes we get approached by projects and they've got like 5k in liquidity. They've been squeezing their liquidity pool with different functions so hard they've got like a 2 million market cap, and they go, "Oh, will you take this on?" We're like, "Look, we can't magic $2 million out of thin air." So The projects where we have been able to do something so far, by hook or crook, we've just about been able to get to a point where all of the holders have received dollar value, and our performance in that, actually, because the idea is that you bring, the whole point of gravity is that you've got two pieces of matter that are pulling together, and together they're stronger. It's not about acquisition, it's not about takeover or anything like that. It's about bringing people together that wouldn't have had a greater outcome, and it also helps the people that are already in MDB. I'd say so many of our community members that are great contributors, great investors, have come through this process, actually. So it's been even if you forget about the financial side of it, it's been a hugely successful venture for us, Gravity. It's a very stressful venture because dealing with project teams at the very end can be a difficult task sometimes. But ultimately, it's meant that together you're stronger. You move on. You're much better protocol as a result. It's been working really well, and I would love it if we could do it more. It's just always quite challenging once you get into the detail.
Absolutely. Real quick side note, as I supposed to do at the beginning of all of these, and I keep forgetting to do so. Nothing in this AMA or any of our AMAs should be constituted as financial advice. It is all educational, informational. Please do your own research on both our group and whatever group we decide to bring in this case, MDB. Just need to put that disclaimer out there, which I forgot to do at the start. So for the Gravity project, you mentioned Oracle as you having absorbed into your ecosystem. What other projects have you been able to absorb into your ecosystem thus far?
Yeah, so we the very first one we did was one called Vault DeFi. They actually had two projects, so we did the first one first, which was Vault S, and then we completed Vault X, which was their second project recently when the liquidity unlocked, and then we did a much smaller project, which was I don't want to be derogatory, but it was named after COVID, and it was like a very much sort of Telegram focused. To be honest, there wasn't that much going on there, but the team actually contacted us and said, look, we're walking away, and rather than just abandon it and walk away, we'd like to give you some liquidity, and maybe you can run some sort of compensation scheme, which we were actually able to do again at the holding value of the holders at the end, although they were down significantly, obviously, but they were able to come out of it at least what they had, and that has then grown sort of 2 times 2, 3. So yeah, it's been those 4 tokens across 3 projects. We've had plenty of near misses, to be honest. We've had some negotiations this week, which have been, interesting to say the least. I won't say any more than that. And that's always the challenging part, to be honest. There's another project recently where we could have, we basically were being asked to give a sum of money out of the capital within the project to the project team, which we just didn't want to be part of that sort of transaction, quite frankly, and so they ended up going in a different direction, and that's what you face, though, right? And that's a little bit of the industry, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. So how much of these tokens, these projects you've absorbed, how much compensation would you estimate is given back to the community?
Well, 100% so far. Are you looking for like a
a specific number? Like I have no doubt you've been redistributing the capital to all of your holders. But like a specific number, even if you don't know the exact one, just an estimate of what you've been able to get back to people.
I can give you a ballpark, actually. It's somewhere in the region. It's not insignificant. So in our first less than 4 months, it's been somewhere in the region of about $250,000 to $270,000.
Very impressive. And that's all just from projects that people invested in who decided to call it quits early. So, props to you. Props to the entire Gravity project. And so you said you are in talks with potentially acquiring some. Is there any info you can share on that, or is that closed behind closed doors?
Well, to be fair, one of them was liquid capital, but we just weren't able to. Probably least said the better, but those guys have been through a very difficult time. Obviously, it fell apart pretty spectacularly. So, their capital ratios and what they had did lend itself to a deal that would have been huge for the holders there. I think they got about 70%. We potentially could have done, we definitely could have done 100%, and it would have sustainably probably doubled sort of our base price as well within our protocol. So it would have been huge for MDB. It would have been huge for the guys in Liquid Capital. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make it work. We've got another one that's in discussion at the moment, but yeah, I'm not holding my breath. We need to. I think it's had such a fantastic outcome looking back for everybody involved. We're really keen to keep doing it, but we've actually spawned competition, ironically. So now there's like 3 or 4 different versions of Gravity from other projects, and quite often these projects themselves are very small and not performing, but they use it as a way to keep the show on the road for a little bit longer.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you try to make a fork of Gravity.
I want Gravity, the first person that copied Gravity. That would be the dream, to Gravity someone that plagiarized our idea, and then they've acquired someone else, and then we. But anyway, it's not. Look, our intention of doing it is to help, right? And we want to create a happy island within DeFi where people can come and stay, and if they want to leave, that's absolutely fine. And the protocol is designed for as many people to come and leave as they wish, and for the happy island just to get bigger and stronger as a result.
Absolutely. So moving from Gravity to your first token, so you everybody knows we're in a pretty bad market right now, but yet when I checked your chart comparing it to BTC, you guys are doing really well right now. Now, what would you say attributes to MDB's price appreciation the most?
There's a whole load of reasons, really. I think
what's the X factor?
What's the X factor? Well, if you looked at our chart over time, and I know there's some really clever people in grey, right? So, but if you look at our chart over time, you'll see that it's really simple to see. There's been 3 pumps, right? If you forget sort of the launch day stuff, which is just always like a strange situation, you can see that we had after the launch day, sort of getting through the initial whitelisters for a first few days, right? The people that just want to flip ×2 ×3 on other people and get out. We were very patient. We didn't want to waste protocol money on those people, so we held back a bit. And then we started to exercise the power of the protocol at that point, and from a really low base. I think it was close to the launch price at the bottom, and then you can see we started to lump up. Now you'll see that it drops down hard, and the reason it dropped down hard on that first time is that was Terra Luna, and we actually went a day into the Terra Luna crisis being a top gainer on CMC because everyone was red and we were like plus 20%, and it just got too much in the end, right? So people needed liquidity, panic was all over the place, and that's then the second dip that you see. We built more momentum, more marketing, and we got a fantastic community and a great team. And then as we got up the second time, then that Celsius, all the other stuff happened. You can see then it crashed, albeit we crashed at a much slower rate than the market, right? We kind of went down over this space of like 2 or 3 weeks, whereas the market dropped really sharply and then continued to go down. And then you will see we kind of bottomed around about 3rd of July, maybe a touch before about 1st of July. And even then, at that point, I suppose the secret to success of our protocol is, apart from the community and the team, there's a couple of things happening in the background. So the way the protocol is designed, when we were touching that bottom of 2.5, which was our pre-sale price, at that point we'd burn, I don't know, maybe 8-9% of our protocol at that point, right, by buying back and burning. At that point, if we'd seen like a 20% drop in price, even though that was our pre-sale price, other people have gone 80% below pre-sale, our protocol could have bought itself out effectively because of the way the trust fund and capital ratios work, and capital synergy between trust fund and liquidity. But then something really important happened. We launched Xenia, and Xenia went from having this token which has this capital synergy model and the trust funded engine behind it, to you being able now to lock up your supply and also earn more MDB tokens, still completely deflationary. And that really was just like a match that was lit under the protocol. So we also minted our NFTs, which also was locked up sort of 4.2% of our overall supply. We've continued to buy back and burn supply in a really efficient way. And then we offered this ability to go and lock up your supply. Now, I hoped by the end of the year across LP, farm, staking pool, team wallets, all of the things that kind of take supply out, largely out of supply on a day-to-day basis. I'd hoped we would hit 70% by the end of the year, and I thought that would be a really healthy place, including burns. We hit that within a week of launching Xenia. So Xenia offered all of our other applications. Half of our supply went straight in the single staking pool, which shows you, the confidence in the community for half of our supply to be locked up like that. And then the farm's been really successful. It's been delivering fantastic rewards. So you just saw all of this lockup and then just this immediate supply squeeze. So very bullish anyway, because everybody else had just, capitulated in a really difficult market. And we'd just dipped under pre-sale price a couple of times for nanoseconds. So people already felt like, well, hang on a second, you've just got this thing here that just won't die. And then these mechanisms came together at just the right time. And then you've seen this third launch up. And it was quite a nervy time, actually, I'll be honest, in the first sort of week of that, because our two sort of drives of momentum up, and it's half planned because we launch these new products, we market them, you create a load of hype, you get eyes on it, and then something existential has happened twice to us every time we've done that. You can see it on the chart. But lucky for us, nothing major happened in the market, and all of the mechanisms have taken hold. So yeah, we're in a really lucky place where actually our liquidity is backed as much today as it was when we were down at like 3. We've gone over a cent. We've been sort of 1.1 cent a couple of times, and we seem to have just stabilized for the last week. As you can see there, sort of comfortably close to times for our pre-sale.
Indeed. And I suppose the X factor that I can see is that you've actually managed to crush all of your roadmap objectives. That's a pretty helpful thing to drive up price. So speaking of these projects, let's talk about Xenia and MDB Plus. Because MDB Plus was your first, correct me if I'm wrong, first or maybe second release after the original MDB token. It was, and I read through the white paper, it's a stable coin, right?
Yeah, so it's a stable backed asset, so it can only appreciate in value, has really small taxes, and that was really powerful actually, because not only because it was really good timing to have a stable backed asset, but it was always in our roadmap, and it was in our roadmap because we saw if people wanted to come out of MDB, if they didn't want the risk for whatever reason at that point, MDB has huge upside, but it, depending on where it is, it could have some down, it could have more or less downside potential, and that was the idea. But actually MDB Plus became a really powerful utility for the protocol because we paired 40% of our LP with MDB Plus. So 40% of our LP is paired to something that can only appreciate in price. It cannot go backwards. It's a mathematical impossibility. And then we also launched Synergy Solutions, our B2B application. So now we're working with other projects who are also creating pairs with MDB Plus. EMP was our first flagship. We're working with Protocol X. We just announced a partnership with Sphere. We've got a couple of others announced as well. So so that stable backed asset is a nice place to put your money and get great APY with zero risk in crypto terms because it's 100% backed by BUSD. But it's also been an amazing utility for us, and it's helping us to earn revenue as a protocol.
Okay, so let's talk about that APY. Because you mentioned the single asset staking, you managed to lock up quite a bit of your original token supply in that. What has been the average performance of the APY either for MDB or MDB Plus?
Yeah, so since since we launched Xenia, so the single staking pool, I think I'm just looking now. So we're at 26.18. Our target was 30. We were comfortably over 30, but we've only got what 800 and sorry, I do apologize. We've got
Oh, you're good.
870 million tokens in circulation. We have 455 million in the single staking pool. So the APY is a few percent lower than what we hoped for, but we also, quite frankly, didn't expect to see well over half of our supply put into that pool. It's been super bullish. The farm has paid. Early days it was like 400%. It was crazy. Now it's down to only 168% APY on the BNB MDB farm, and MDB Plus has tracked at 47% since launch. On the 7-day it's 14.5, which is very low actually. That's a great return for BUSD back that can't go down in price. Actually, we've been comfortably on the 7-day. We've typically been sort of 20 to 40% over the last couple of months. We also launched Phoenix Plus, so we've got a second stable backed asset now as well, which has slightly higher taxes. The twist is that you can be cashed out of it. If you got cashed out, your holding just gets pushed into MDB Plus. But that's that only launched 5-6 weeks ago. That started at $1. It's $1.18.6 now.
Yes, Phoenix Plus. We certainly will be getting to that soon. I was very interested in reading through that. Okay, so your returns have been exemplary so far. Yeah, I think you could say. So Phoenix Fire Club, your NFT line. It minted, I believe, a few weeks ago. Yeah. And how fast was the mint out?
Well, we did the mint actually in sort of 3 stages. So we did one for 24 hours. There was 500. I think we sold 200 in the first mint, and then we paused it. And what we wanted to do actually was let people see how the NFT worked and what the rewards look like. And then we did like a rewards party when the first rewards were being paid out by the contract, and then we shown everyone how much MDB was going into the NFT contract, and we just did a mini mint. I think we sold. We opened it for 10 minutes, and I think we sold 100 or 99. I think it was in 10 minutes, and then we paused it for a week, and then when we opened it, it sold out within 2 hours. So it was kind of a day and a bit really over the 3 stages, but it was a tactical process, and at the end we sold a couple of hundred within a couple of hours. But they weren't cheap either. I think by the end they were sort of like $950 each, because they were appreciating in value from that start point to the end because of the mechanism within it. It means that you earn money from them, but it should also appreciate in value despite the fact that it's paid you out as well.
Yeah, last I checked, I believe mint was $900, and the current floor sat at about 4.5 BNB, so around $1,300. So very good job at maintaining a good price on the floor for your NFT. So you mentioned that you wanted the holders of your first stage mint to realize what their returns are. So what kind of I guess the question is, what kind of returns and ROI can holders expect from these NFTs?
So our target range was, we modeled the numbers, and our target range was 30 to 70% APY. But the way it's designed, because the supply is fed out in rewards based on the burn of overall supply of MDB, the idea is that you can be paid out rewards, but then the value of the MDB backing your NFT is greater than it was before, so therefore your asset is still worth more than you paid for it, even though you've cashed out. So I think the first rewards drop was I think it was $75, and the first NFT cost $750 to buy. So people got a 10% month one, but you can then take that and then stake it, obviously. So you've also got upside there once you've received those MDB rewards, I think it's safe to say that we're comfortably looking like we should be well north of that 30% APY, whilst maintaining appreciation of the asset itself as well.
Very nice. As I said, one of the few NFTs that has actually managed to maintain its value and appreciate, especially in these terrible market times. So let's talk about Phoenix Plus, because
I should mention that the legendary there's the number one NFT sold for $10,000, by the way.
All right, casual, humble brag. Very nice. Let's talk about Phoenix Plus, because I've read through this thing on your white paper probably 5 times now, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around exactly what it is. It sounds like a digitalized game of chicken. Is that
yeah
is that a good summary?
Basically, you invest in it, you pay a couple of percent in, you pay a couple of percent out. There's a risk of you being cashed out, but the risk and exposure is actually extremely low. We're talking, if you got cashed out, you pay another 1% tax, but then you'd be cashed out into MDB Plus. So you have to consider sort of the in and out of MDB Plus, which is tiny, really. So I think in our marketing, actually, one of the criticisms we'd give ourselves, and this is probably my fault more than our marketing team, is that we were just trying to be so honest that we almost got people thinking about the cash out rather than thinking about the fact that it's got really high APY. It's basically MDB Plus with a twist. It's a much higher APY, but it's got a life beyond its basic function, which is going to just send it. It's going to absolutely rock it in the next couple of months.
I'm very intrigued by the whole system. The second I can wrap my head around how it fully works, game over. I'll be playing into that plenty. Now
maybe I can if I step back slightly from the details of each of the tokens, right? Remember at the start of the call I said that everything we do is about appreciating the fund and depreciating the amount of supply, so that's every token in your wallet is worth more. That's what the whole ecosystem is really there for. The NFT delivers great value to the holder, but it delivers great value to the protocol because it locks up so much supply as well, making less supply liquid. MDB Plus has been huge for the protocol. One of our largest protocol investments has been into MDB Plus because we've wanted to hide a lot of our cash in stables in a difficult market, and we've averaged about 25-30% on a 100% stable backed asset since we launched it. So everything in the ecosystem is meant to add value to you as people coming in, but at the same time it adds value to MDB, either because it helps us burn it or it helps the protocol make money whilst you're making money, which obviously then you can that money is then invested into MDB and the supply is burnt.
All right. So speaking of the entire ecosystem, will Phoenix Plus token / any token in your ecosystem ever be listed on a centralized exchange?
Potentially, and I think realistically, I think MDB itself is probably the more likely one to be listed on a centralized exchange. There is there's probably a journey where MDB could be as a token itself. When the B2B applications that sit around it and MDB Plus and Phoenix Plus itself has opportunities to be used as a much broader utility, you then add in the NFT expansion. I think the NFT went from interesting to people, fighting each other for them. I think if we can build on that in a few months' time, we have the opportunity to really show the power of those different utilities on the value of MDB. I think when we get to the point where we can be less reliant on buy and sell taxes, then there's definitely an opportunity to maybe take MDB as a single token into that sort of CEX world.
Well, that would certainly I can't think of a better way to drive up your price than a surprise listing on Binance or Coinbase. So this is a lot of progress you've made. Really easy to say. So let's talk about the future. First off, both Infinity, which is your upcoming venture, and also a partnership with us over here at Gray Market. So why don't you, because I actually am not really beholden to the details, tell us about the partnership we've managed to get going.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if Gray's here. I'm just looking.
He was here, but I think he had some business to take care of.
Okay, tough crowd. Look, Gray's probably walking around with one ear left on his head because of the amount of chewing that I've been doing over the last few months. And we've heard nothing but great things about you, the community, and eventually I kind of I grabbed him and we talked through a few things, talked about where we're going as an organization and what we need to achieve, and also what's happening in the future, and there was definitely sort of a connection and an alignment there in terms of the ambitions. I wish, and this is on us really, it's a timing question, but it'd be great if maybe we'd been able to make it happen a couple of months earlier, but we are where we are, and ultimately we've already announced that we're investing $350,000 into the Gray Fund in the opening this week, and there are, with these things, I think you have to eat the elephant in chunks, and this is the $350,000 is just one of many chunks in the elephant. I see many other opportunities for us working together. But I won't spill the beans on my ideas. I want to keep Gray happy, soften him up, and then try and see whether I can get him on board with some ideas that I've got. But the thing that we definitely know is happening is that Gray will be one of the official Infinity partners, actually. So Infinity it has some risk, but it has huge volatility, huge potential, but we can't make it happen with a few partners that we can work with and funds that we can invest the Infinity fund into that are going to deliver really good short-term returns. We can't lock it up for 6 months. It has to be ready to go within sort of a 4-week time frame, so it's really attractive, and obviously a fantastic team. And so the kind of the alpha Infinity and the Gray and MDB partnership is that the 350k is just the start, and Gray will be a massive part of Infinity as well. Within that partnership, we'll have VIP spaces and whitelist. One of the great things that we've got now is that when we launched MDB, we just had to go out to the market and have a pre-sale, and some people really understood it and really believed in it. Other people just wanted to flip it for the sake of flipping it, right? Because that's DeFi. We're very lucky that we're now moving into launching Infinity, running a pre-sale, and we actually know who our loyal holders are, right? We've got the Millionaires Club, and then we've got our VIPs who own sort of a million tokens minimum each, and we've got this fantastic group of people. But we'll also be giving some as part of this arrangement around Infinity, we'll also be offering a selection of VIP and standard whitelist spots back to the Gray community as well.
Well, you heard it here first, everybody. Gray himself being a major partner of the Infinity project, coming straight to you. There's your alpha. You guys wanted it. You guys got it. So there are a lot more people in here than there were at the start. So I can do a quick. I got some requests for a quick elevator pitch of our community once again. So we are basically an investment group. We all collectively came together organically one day as just a group of people who were, the long and the short of it, pretty good in the space, pretty much knew what we were doing, knew what we were talking about, and we just decided, you know what, we're going to make a group out of it. And it grew into this lovely group that's gotten so many opportunities for like seed investments in other upcoming projects. We've had some of which we can talk about that have already gone through. Acquirify. We've had Equinox. We've had the 121G investment fund. We got a seed deal in Waifu Financial. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. We had a nice AMA with them and got a good deal on investing with them. And basically, we specialize in all of the early stage investing on top of anything crypto, DeFi, advice, as well as traditional finance. We have technical analysis in here who will go through the charts of your favorite coins, favorite altcoins, BTC and Ethereum, almost on a daily basis, pretty close to daily. We get some new charting information in there. And all of this comes with a subscription to Gray Market, as well as access to the Gray Fund, which Godfather has told you about throwing $350,000 into for good reason, because the Gray Fund has so far managed to outperform almost any index fund. Probably every index fund, actually. In the 3 months that we've had the Gray Fund, or the Gray Fund, we've produced 25% return month 1, 18% return month 2, and we're looking at a little bit above 13% return month 3. So you're looking at a pretty crazy ROI for an investment fund. It's not a token. It's not something that's going to have, like, you have to buy it and then sell it. It's just you throw money into the investment fund as part of your Gray Market subscription, and Gray works his magic as he's going to be doing with MDB's trust fund, and the returns speak for themselves. So if you want more information on that, feel free to reach out to any of us in the free chat, and we will be happy to provide you with any sort of information you're looking for. We have an updated website coming up. No date on that yet, but we will have more information the second it's available to anybody who wants it. So that's us in a nutshell, as much of a nutshell as I can put together. But so yeah, I'm a little bit flustered here, trying to pitch my own thing as my job here. So it's it's kind of it's been, I would say, again, it's kind of hard to say as a conflict of interest without a conflict of interest, but I would say it's worth it. Not financial advice. The cost is $200 a month. The minimum of investment into the Gray Fund is $2,000. So you're basically, if you put the minimum in, you're basically paying for your subscription every month if you decide to cash out. The link, if any of the other mods would like to put the link to the fund page, that would be absolutely lovely. So we got that's enough about us from me. But so Infinity, we are going to be one of the partners of it. Is there any other part of Infinity, any other little alpha you want to share with everybody in chat, all those who stayed till the end?
People are asking for it. I thought that was enough.
Oh, of course, people are asking for it. People, you see, look at the AMA questions tab. Everybody wants more. The Adam Driver GIF. Everybody wants more.
What I should say is that you know, Gray. I'm happy to say, you know, to have an organisation like you guys as the first Infinity partner that's delivering those sorts of results is huge. Just to be clear, Infinity. Most people know this, but if you're new to MDB, you probably won't. Infinity will be paired with Phoenix Plus. So it'll be a low tax token. It'll have a lot of volatility, but backed by a significantly larger trust fund than its liquidity pool. So it's like an angry, really aggressive, hugely volatile, but obviously offering huge potential, but obviously comes with some risk as well. But it will be paired with Phoenix Plus, so that means that as Phoenix Plus APY is rocketing really quickly from all of the volume from Infinity, lots and lots of people are going to invest into Phoenix Plus because it cannot depreciate in value. So you've got something that can't go down, that will be running, you know, it will be nuts. I'm pretty confident we'll be seeing 4-figure APY very quickly, but that means that then the LP of Infinity, whilst, you know, it has some risk and it's also volatile, the LP on a like-for-like basis will be growing, you know, at that crazy APY as well.
Well, that's some good alpha, you know. We got some I hope you guys enjoyed all of that. That is all What's up?
Sorry. Sorry. Just to finish. So Gray is the first of at least 4 Infinity partners that are going to be announced in the next 5 days. So some of them it's already agreed. You know, everyone can sort of chuck out the guesses and have a bit of a game, and maybe we can do something around that. But yeah, there'll be, you know, no matter, you know, we love Grain. You're fantastic, and you'll be a huge part of the Infinity Fund. There's no doubt about that. At the same time, it's always good to have some diversification. So there will be, you know, there will be up to 4, or there will be at least 4 Infinity partners, all announced in the next 5 days. We've been working hard in the background.
Absolutely. So, you know, everyone just think about that. You know, the group here has secured that a core partnership with MDB. We're both excited to see what the future of that, what the future holds for that. That is all the questions I believe I have written down for myself. So if the community, anybody in chat would like to ask questions for something they maybe didn't hear or would like a recap of, please post them in AMA questions, so we can get those answered for you. And anybody who is coming into this AMA a bit late or just maybe missed it, again, it will be up on our Gray Market YouTube channel in approximately 1 to 2 hours, depending on how long the editing process takes for me. So with that in mind, does anyone have any questions they would like to answer either for myself or for Godfather? Anybody got any questions? Post them in the AMA questions chat, where we have been pretty active so far. Reading through them. I have to read through this chat. Your community has been blowing up our AMA questions chat.
Yeah, they do that. They do. I think we've probably got one of those communities that likes to act quite degen, but in truth, the average age is probably a little bit higher than some other projects, and people in there do have cash as well, despite the way they act. So yeah, I think probably Gray was quite surprised at the amount of people that came across from MDB looking to sign up.
Absolutely. So we got a couple ones here. Here it is. When launch? when Infinity launch? That's what I'm. Yeah. Basically, that's
we're looking 18th of September, but we will have all of the details laid out by the 2nd of September, and if we can move earlier, we will. But at the moment, we're looking at 18th of September.
18th of September. Okay, and we have a question here. What do the Infinity Partners do?
That's a great question. So ultimately, the Infinity Partners, well, first of all, the number one role of an Infinity Partner is to take our money and deliver a great return on investment, which enables Infinity itself to be an absolute monster, delivering huge staking rewards and huge upside potential. and obviously come with us on this journey as well, leading up to the launch. It doesn't stop there. You know, 60% of the taxes from Infinity is very low tax tokens, only 5%. 40% of those goes into Phoenix Plus. So you know, it's a really clean system. There's no cash flying off anywhere else, and 60% goes back into the Infinity Fund to be invested in Infinity Partners, so that we can compound and keep delivering huge returns to have a massive impact on Infinity. So that's the relationship, and clearly, you know, we want to work with partners that not only that can deliver a great return on investment for investors' funds, but also have great communities that are looking for solid teams and solid investments as well. And Grey definitely fits that bill.
Absolutely. The current Grey Fund performance does speak for itself, so excited to see where that goes. Any new NFT mints?
That's a good question. That is a really good question. Shall I do it?
Shall you do it?
So our pre-sale for Infinity is going to be really restrictive, yeah. And unless you're in one of the Infinity partners, part of their community, or you're already in the Millionaires Club or a VIP, it will be very difficult to get on the whitelist for Infinity. You know, we're not looking to just raise $1 bazillion for the sake of raising $1 bazillion. We have a very clear view in terms of what the raise should be and how the mechanism should work, and it should sell out extremely quickly. We will offer maybe 100 whitelist spots publicly, but that would mean that and if they're a K each, that means that you've got 100,000 out of the whole project that is from I suppose unknowns, let's say, without being too sort of afraid of strangers. We are planning on having 200 NFTs specifically for Infinity, which will be staking NFTs, but they will also be open on public pre-sale. But it means that the Infinity that are locked in those NFTs are not liquid, and we're looking at that at the moment. I can't say any more than that because I've probably said too much already, and I'm probably a dead man. But we are looking at a mini NFT mint as part of Infinity, which is great for the protocol, and it's also great for the people that buy it. And then we have to look. I think in truth, it's not the right time now because our roadmap isn't in that place. If we could do what we did with the Phoenix Fire Club at a ×2 ×3 scale, it would be huge in terms of long-term value for the protocol and short-term value as well. But you know, it comes at the right time. We'd love to do partner NFTs actually. You know, there's maybe an opportunity where we could do 500 NFTs and all of the funds are invested in the Grey Fund, and then all of the ROI is used to buy MDB and distribute to the holders of that NFT. There's things like that we're talking to other projects about, which are definitely possible.
Oh, there you go. You know, there's some ideas coming out. You know, who knows what's going to happen with that? Is there going to be when is the pre-sale going to be? I think I see that in here.
It will be in the week leading up to the launch.
Week leading up to the launch. Okay, so the week between September 11th and September 10th and September 17th. So okay, there you go. There's your info for pre-sale. Anybody have any other questions? Please post them in the chat. As I frantically scroll through to get through this many people flooding our chat. Never had this happen before, so we are guys going crazy. Will there be a transfer tax, or can we give a different wallet that's holding our MDB?
We give a different wallet for Infinity. There will absolutely be a transfer tax. There will be, and I appreciate some people like to set up an individual wallet, and you know, we've heard all of the reasons why people do that. In truth, I don't want any black market for Infinity. Literally, we could fill the pre-sale as a community. We don't need to be bringing in everybody off the street that just moves from project to project, just flipping them. If those people want a piece of Infinity, then they can get in at launch.
All right. when $3 MDB. Repeat the details on the Gray MDB partnership. MDB has invested $350,000 into our Gray fund, our Gray investment fund, as well as us being the first partner of the Infinity program, which will, again, due to Gray being able to work his magic, be able to provide some fantastic returns for the MDB holders. Is there anything I missed, or is that a good summary on what we managed to accomplish?
Yeah, that's a great summary. I think obviously it means that we're, right now it's $350,000. You never know. By the end of September, it could be $1 million, that certainly puts our destinies a lot closer than they were a couple of weeks ago. And also, I think already, I think there's a few people in our community that have got very deep pockets and already are making big moves towards grey market, and I think we I don't want to say genuinely, I like the type of people that actually have money. I'd rather have 30,000 investors with $1,000 than 3 million investors with $100, if I'm brutally honest, because our system isn't meant to be a pump and dump. You come in and the protocol does its work, and we all win together. And doing that with people that want to enjoy their life, but also know what they're doing with their money. That's really what we would like to have, and Gray certainly fits in that box.
All right. So we your community is trying to squeeze out as much alpha as they could possibly get their hands on. Infinity total supply. Do you have a number?
I know it, but it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. Okay.
It's completely irrelevant, right?
Yeah. I mean.
It doesn't give. It could be 100 trillion, or it could be 4.
Oh.
Without understanding all the other numbers, it's arbitrary.
I thought we weren't a degen protocol with a 1 quadrillion supply. What are you? Yeah, so it's not going to be. It's not going to be one of those 1 quadrillion.
Maybe I'll drop something. So the launch price would be 20 cents. So we might see Infinity $1 on the first day.
Oh. Well, hey, look at that. You got. You guys are getting spoiled. You guys in the community are getting spoiled right now with all this.
When you go somewhere with your children and they completely embarrass you, that's kind of what it feels like whenever I do an AMA anywhere.
Yeah, everyone's going to keep asking for more and more alpha. But there you go, 20 cents launch price, pre-sale. Pre-sale a week before on the September 10th through the 17th. So you guys can maybe make your own conclusions, lest you drive Godfather to an early grave. With anybody else have any more questions they would like asked, either for myself or for Godfather? We are running a bit longer than usual, but I would say it's worth it. We got a lot of information out there, a lot of alpha. We got okay. Lots of.
By the way, I should say, look, the VIP slot will get 5 times the whitelist allocation than Millionaires Club. So anybody who's in Grey now and you're thinking, these MDB guys, they seem all right. They're definitely we're not as smart as Grey, not in a million years, but we're good people, and we'll deliver a successful protocol. I'm sure of that. So if you want to come in hard into MDB, VIP is the way.
There you have it. If that wasn't a reason enough to join the VIP club, then I don't know what is. Okay.
You're trying to pick a question out of that.
Yep. They just keep coming, man. I mean, I'll be honest. On most AMAs that we get here, it's maybe like 2 or 3 questions that we get for whoever's community we bring in. But now we have 20.
By the way, if you're a Millionaires Club member, you do get access. We have a a mental health and well-being / life coach who is on retainer, and you can see why we thought that would be really useful.
Okay, so I'm trying to get through all this. What is the allocation for Millionaires Club VIP partners and page ones?
So page ones is only relevant to MDB. There's obviously very few of them. They will have a 10k allocation. VIPs will have 5k. But obviously, if you want to come and get on page one and spend $50,000 now, you're more than welcome. If you want to put $50,000 into MDB, VIPs will get 5k. Allocation, max allocation, and then Millionaires Club will be 1k.
All right.
Partners will get some 1ks and some 5ks, and we'll discuss the right amount of that.
Funny question for The Godfather: will the bot issue be worked out by the next mindfulness session?
The bot issue. I don't know. I'm not aware of a bot issue.
I'm just reading them as they come in. I don't know what that's supposed to refer to, but be banning people. Oh, okay.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm not sure. All right. Does anyone have any further questions they want answered before we wrap things up here? Anybody got any last things they want to ask?
Why are you even asking them?
Because they're very eager. Okay, I want to reward they've been here for a whole hour. They've been taking time out of their day for this whole hour-long AMA, and we're just trying to reward them. We want to give the people what they want.
Do this for another hour if you let them.
I mean, I guess in that case, we'll wrap things up here. For when hydro-powered go-kart. All right, we're gonna end it. That is gonna be all for this is recorded. I have been recording this entire AMA, so you guys will be able to watch it. I will post it in the AMA videos tab, which you guys should be able to see about 1 to 2 hours after we conclude this, depending on how long it takes me to edit. It's gonna be a long editing process because it's a much longer AMA than what we usually do. And I will also give the link to you guys in your community, in your Discord, so you guys can come watch it, like and subscribe, how all the YouTubers say. And we will go from there. So without further ado, we thank you so much for coming in, Godfather, Danny, being a very nice guest for us once again. Very excited to see what happens for the MDB partnership with Gray Market. And again, if any of you guys in the MDB community want more information on us at Gray Market, please feel free to tag any of us in free chat, and we will give you as much information as we can. I know I kind of just dumped it all on you in this AMA, but if you have any specific questions on what to do, the premium benefits, etc., be sure to ask us in free chat. We're always around. I'm basically here almost all day watching the chat, so I'll be here to answer any questions you guys have.
If you're listening to this back, by the way, you can't see the AMA questions stream that we're looking at. So if you wonder why we're pausing and sort of scratching our heads, go back, have a look at the AMA questions from when the AMA happened, and the audio will make complete sense.
Absolutely. I have to keep blurring everything out because I don't want there to be text chats whenever I do edits. But I haven't had to check back into the AMA questions, so the editing might go a little bit quicker. So I guess again, my name is Meta. I am the community manager for Gray Market. I also am the front man for all of these AMAs we have here in our community. Godfather, you wanna give a final farewell of introduction to yourself and who you are for those of us in our community?
Yeah, look, ultimately, I'm a guy that was investing in DeFi, have plenty of life and business experience, and became frustrated with an opportunity wasted. So, that's what I built MDB for. It's here for the long term, and ultimately, people can have fun but make some money along the way. genuinely over the moon to be partnered with Grey Market, and Infinity is going to be absolutely wild. I'm sure if you've looked at the AMA questions today, you probably get a little snippet of what our community is like. And we look forward to seeing you guys over at MDB, and obviously Infinity is going to be something special for sure.
Very much so. I am excited to see what the future holds for both MDB and Grey Market and their partnership going forward. Thank you, everybody, once again for joining on this Tuesday. Thank you for bearing with us for an entire hour. Our longest AMA yet, but definitely our most valuable one we've had so far. So thank you guys for coming in once again. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And any questions you have, be sure to reach out. Take care, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Great stuff. Take care. Bye-bye.